Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. You can make it round the world when the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn
World. You're now listening to the Brothers of the Five. At shooting guard, it's your boy, Killer Cam. At small forward, it's Reggie Love. At point guard, Steve Major. At power forward, I'll be. And at center, Mr. Noise, Lloyd Spence. And now, the Brothers of the Five.
Add one more plus me into the
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Five. It's Super Bowl week. This broadcast will actually be coming on Tuesday, but we are recording it on Sunday. We are coming in hot with breaking news. We thought we'd be coming on to talk about the trade request of Kyrie Irving. We are coming on to talk about the trade of Kyrie Irving. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nets have traded Kyrie Irving just days after his request to the Dallas Mavericks for a 2029 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks in 2027 and 2029. And they've traded also Markieff Morris, which is a sneaky good ad in that trade. And they've traded all of that for Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie is going home back to Brooklyn where it all started for him, where he kind of became the player that we know him as of today. But ladies and gentlemen, it is a done deal. Kyrie Irving is a Maverick for now. I would have to assume that there was some conversations had about a long-term situation, but everybody on this screen knows Kyrie at any moment. So this is the trade we have. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Reggie Love. That's Chad Major. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts to this trade?
Actually, I think it's a good trade. I actually feel it's a good for both sides. I really, you know how sometimes you feel like a trade can be a little bit one-sided, kind of like the Minnesota-Utah trade. Like, that was one side. That was Utah. You won.
Very much.
Utah. You won.
Yeah.
But,
right.
And here's part of the reason. At the end, what you just said, Lord, is because of that extension. From what I'm understanding, the main reason Kyrie wanted out is because Brooklyn would give him the amount of money and the extension that he wanted. If I'm correct, tell me anything different.
Correct.
No, you're correct.
Yes. So I'm sure that the Dallas Mavericks have already put something together, being Texas is a no state tax state. That's another win for you. Facts.
Yeah.
So that had to be a part of the agreement somewhere, maybe verbal, but we don't, like you said, we just don't know what we get from Kyrie to make this thing happen. But here's the thing. I feel like Luka, you got your number 2, or Kyrie, you got your number 1, or vice versa. Who's Batman? Who's Robin? But I believe for Luka, this is great. This is be the first time I since he's been in the league, his short time in the league, that he's really can have a chance to play off the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's less energy spent, and really this is going to be a big help for Luka if Kid can put this thing together.
Yeah, I agree with Reggie, man. It's definitely a win for Dallas, because they have one of the most hardest guys to guard in the league, and you pair them with the other hardest guy to guard in the league. It's definitely going to be some matchup problems. They didn't give up too much. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a good player, but if you got a Kyrie, ready to come to Dallas, then I definitely would make that trade. Like we were talking earlier, Lloyd, that contract, they had to be, like Reggie said, something in the framework to be able to have him sign off, and Luka sign off on the deal. I heard he consulted and got to sign off on the deal too. So I think Nico Harris was criticized for a minute there, not being able to bring the big guys to Dallas, and I think he did good, and we're just trying to see exactly where this thing goes. It could be a beautiful partnership, or it could be like when Dennis Rodman came to Dallas. So it could be it could be a beautiful marriage or a big circus. So,
gentlemen, I am conflicted by this trade, not for the obvious reason of Laker fandom, but simply because if this trade comes with a renewed, focused Kyrie, it is a phenomenal trade for Dallas. And I think it makes them a serious contender in the West, because that's going to be hard to deal with in the backcourt with Luka and Kyrie. That's as difficult a backcourt to deal with as Clay and Steph in their prime. So that's a serious backboard. But the assumption also is that Kyrie is not going to Kyrie. There's nothing in this man's career that has proven that he is not going to Kyrie at this point. Not one thing. Name the team that Kyrie is going to that it ended well with. I'll wait. And here's the other part of it. Though they have discussed, I'm sure, that the possibility of an extension is there, unless that extension comes on the day he shows up for the press conference, which they're saying he could play as soon as tomorrow.
Wednesday, yeah. He's going to do a physical tomorrow.
Physical is tomorrow, and then he play. Okay, Wednesday. Okay. If he doesn't show up with a contract extension on the day that he shows up to play, ain't no guarantees that he's going to re-sign with the Mavs.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, and that's true. I agree. That's one of the things that I'm thinking, if you're in the front office of the Mavs, something has to be in place here, because they know Kyrie as much as we know Kyrie. So,
right.
Do you really give Kyrie do you really give any player his word that, I'm going to sign an extension with you guys without something put in place? So it'll be very interesting by tomorrow afternoon or Tuesday before he plays to see if something is done.
Yeah, Mark Cuban is used to doing high risk, high reward type things, so that's where he's got where he is. So, like you guys said, I think there's something in the place, and that Kyrie has to be comfortable with to be able to step on that court and produce. So.
And if Kyrie doesn't sign, this will be one of the worst trades probably one of the worst trades that's ever been done, because your main focus for this trade is Kyrie. So you're saying you're going to trade all that, a first rounder, 2 second rounders, two great, pretty good players, all for 3 months? It will be a terrible trade if that doesn't happen.
But I also heard that the Mavericks aren't done either, so there could be more moves coming.
The only reason why this is a good trade is if this lands them in the finals, and it gives them a legitimate shot to win the finals. Other than that, if it doesn't result in Kyrie signing, I agree with you, Reggie. It's not a good trade, and so I want to give him an A. On paper, it looks like an A because a Luka Kyrie pairing looks like money. Like that looks like, okay, y'all are set up and ready to go at least the next 4 to 5 years.
Right.
But man, if Kyrie doesn't do what Kyrie's supposed to do and re-sign, and again, here's the other part that we're not talking about yet. Jason's got to make this work.
That's what I said.
And Luka, we've never seen him not be the man on his team. Can he handle not being the best player on his team?
I think he'll still be the best player on his team. I think the situation is Luka playing off the ball. He's never played off the ball. If you notice, when Luka plays, he's bringing the ball down. He's doing this. He's doing that. That's the key. Can Luka play off the ball?
He might not have to. He might not have to because Kyrie's played with ball dominant people before, so he may not have to play off the ball like that.
No, I agree with you, Reggie. I think he's absolutely going to have to play. If this is going to work at all, Luka, because there's no reason to bring Kyrie in if Luka's not going to play off the ball. It's pointless. This whole move doesn't even make sense if Kyrie. If Luka is still ball dominant and still has the ball in his hands 70 to 80% of the time. Right. Because see, one of the things that this move can do is give Luka some rest.
Yes.
One reason why I think he keeps getting injured, man. You can't listen. Everybody knows, and I can say this unequivocally, but man, when you get tired, your legs get sloppy. You get fatigued, man, and you can't move as fluidly as you would if you didn't have that rest. So now he gets a little bit of rest. He gets to keep that burst in the game. It could be a great move if Luka can adjust, and then still be Luka. So there's a lot of X factor in this thing. Like I said, on paper it looks good. If they can make it work, if Jason can make it work, man, I gotta give one of them spots to the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals because I don't know who you're supposed to guard, who you're supposed to double team, and they got shooters. The thing that really shocked me the most, they didn't have to give up Christian Wood, they didn't have to give up Tim Hardaway Jr.
Josh Green is coming to
Josh Green. To me, I really thought the Nets kind of played themselves, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm saying that was the best trade y'all could do. There was other trades out there because you didn't have to send them to LA. You didn't have to either team in LA. You didn't have to send them to the Suns. And the Mavs have a lot of stuff. So why not get all the stuff you can get? They pulled the trigger. They pulled it off. Shout out to Mark Cuban. Shout out to Nico Harris. They pulled it off. I think the Mavs clearly won this if Kyrie does everything he's supposed to do. But
let's see this. One thing about Kyrie, he's not a scoring point guard. He can score. He's a playmaking point guard.
He's a playmaker.
Yes. He can do. I mean, Kyrie is good with 12 points and 20 assists. We can say that about Kyrie. Kyrie, I mean, he will go for 30 as well. So,
but you want him to score though to take that pressure.
Oh yeah. Oh no, if and buts about it. What I'm saying is he's not a selfish point guard. He's not a point guard that he has to put up 30. You know what I'm saying? So that's the great thing about him playing with Luka that I really love about Kyrie.
Yeah. And on the ball dominant thing, I think they're going to probably also stagger them as well at times to be able to do that.
For sure. Absolutely. But there it is. That's the breaking news of the day. And
one else, to switch to the other side, I know we're talking more about Dallas. Who's Brooklyn number 2 now?
Well, I want to go into
wait, go ahead, Lord. I'm sorry.
No, because you got a great question, and I think the momentum of that question is going to make me switch question 1 with question 2, if that's okay with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So the question 2 is actually the NBA trade line is Thursday, and what teams are the most desperate to make a move? I think, to your point, Reggie, Brooklyn is in real trouble because I'm already hearing rumblings, and there was some reports by Chris Haynes. I don't know how true they are, but there are reports by Chris Haynes saying that the Suns are already in position to make a call and to make a play for Kevin Durant. Now, if that happens, because all it's going to take is for Kevin between now and tomorrow or whenever to simply say, I tried it. Here's where we are. Because there's some reports that saying Kevin did not know that Kyrie was going to do this. And that shocks me that Kyrie, well, I say it shocks me. It doesn't Kyrie thing ever not to call Kevin and say he was doing it.
Right.
But what shocks me is that Kevin is in this position again. After he put his trust in the organization, I can see him coming out within the next 24 hours saying, you know what? I'm done. So if that happens, now we got a real situation.
Yeah.
And to your point, Reggie, let's start with the worst negative part of it all. Could the Nets have screwed this up over the last 4 years any more than, I mean, my God, 3 Hall of Famers and you couldn't make it work? 3
That's crazy.
of the greatest scorers of all time and you couldn't make it work? Wow. So then who do the Nets get after that? I don't know.
I just think you unload. You just, to me right now, unless you can get somebody to come to Brooklyn to play with Durant, you got to unload them.
I think you can get somebody to play with Durant, but I don't think after wait, let me finish, man. After twice Kyrie asking for a trade last year and this year, he's gone. And I hope he comes to Golden State.
I asked you said let you finish. Who are you going to call?
Nobody.
Play with Kevin.
Nobody's playing with Kevin because he's coming to Golden State. We running it back. Him and JaVale McGee is coming back to Golden State, man. That's the come back home, man. You know we can do it. Come back home.
Stay in Dallas. In order for y'all. But here's the thing: if Brooklyn unloads him, they're going to get the world for him. Let's be honest. They're going to get everything for him. And they're going to plead whatever they lost for those 3 superstars, they're going to get it right back. And they're going to have probably first round picks to the 2020, 2040. Because they're going to get it.
But can I tell you something though, Reggie? If I'm Brooklyn, I think that's the move.
Oh, yeah.
I think you got because to me, this move makes the entire West desperate. Mm-hmm. They're all now desperate because they see if we don't do something, the Mavs are going to probably walk into the finals. So now couple that with, and I know we're joking about Golden State, but the reports are that this lower leg injury that Steph have is going to keep him out past the All-Star break. So if that's true, man, they're currently in 4th. And they battled back. They've done well. But y'all know it's tight up in there in that little space. So I can see the Golden State Warriors saying, well, hell, we can't not do something. And they got all of the pieces to do something. So take Wiseman, take Moody, take Kuminga, take them first rounds, bottle them all up into a nice little bowl. Put one of them what are them little fruit baskets they have? The
edible arrangements.
They got
edible arrangements.
Edible arrangements and some nothing but cakes and send it all over to then bring Kevin home. Why not? I think you got to go all in. If you're Brooklyn, you got to go all in to change it. And because this is because here's the thing, you're not going to get that deal after the season. You're just not. Nobody's going to do a Rudy Gobert deal after the season because it doesn't make sense to. But in this window right now where people are feeling where the West is all jumbled up and it's wide open and people are feeling kind of panicky, I think this is the time to do it, man. I think the window's wide open. I think a lot of these teams are going to go all in. those 2 first-round picks the Lakers have, that's over. It is done. They're gonna move them picks. Russell Westbrook, I hope you ain't make no plans to have this house longer than this week. Call your realtor because that's a wrap. Everybody's making moves this week. The Suns, the NBA is officially open for business this week.
No, you're right, man. It's going to be a busy. No, it should be a busy week. We say that all the time. It should be a busy week, but no.
But I don't always believe that every year. Like this,
Exactly.
this is one of the first years I can honestly say,
Exactly.
yeah, you might need to make that call this week.
I would say the West is a busy West.
It's the West. Yeah, it's the West. If I'm in the East,
you're chilling.
the only team in the East that I would say
Miami.
Yeah, I was thinking Miami. That's about it. Everybody else, I think I would stand. Matter of fact,
Chicago.
But they're not in the big though. They're not in that.
They could be. They could be with a move.
If I'm Chicago, I'll move pieces if the deals are right.
If Durant is somewhere in that deal, I'll move if I'm Chicago.
Now that could be interesting. Wow, Durant going package up Zach, package up a few things and send them over to
that would be interesting
for Durant. Woo!
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's the only move I see in the East that somebody could do.
At Miami, other than that,
I don't, and I hate to say it, I don't see a 1-2 combination in Miami. Anybody in Miami that would say Durant and somebody in Miami will come out favorable in the East. I don't see nobody that you compare with Durant and say you're going to beat a Boston, a Milwaukee, a Philly, that you can sit up there and say Durant is somebody from this team on Miami, and we're going to win. I can't see it.
Yeah. Because
Durant Butler is interesting.
But I just don't
know. I don't know if it's finals worthy. I'm with you, Reggie. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, and that's
I think you would have to move a Kyle Lowry though. If that you have to move a Kyle Lowry to get another type of point guard for that to work.
I'll tell you what, Miami might be busy though. Miami might get on the phone and make some calls. But if Durant is available, and I gotta believe that he is, even though he hadn't said it yet, I gotta believe that this man, if ever there was a time to blow it up, this is the time to blow it up for Brooklyn. Do it now while you got everybody's attention. Do it right.
What if Durant is in somebody's ear saying, "Hey man, let this dude go and let us," because Durant is signed.
He might, but
Durant signed that contract. He's under
contract. So technically Durant has nothing to.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't got nothing to negotiate with. So I get it.
Does this put immense pressure on Ben Simmons now to be the scorer? Or take up any type of more responsibility?
Not necessarily, because he can't do what he can't do. Right. But going back to what we just said, I think this is the time where Brooklyn needs to just be like, "Hey man, let's hit the reset button. Let's get all these fools out of here. Just let's start over." Stack up chips to the ceiling like we Oklahoma City, and let's see what happens. Because guess what? Why not tank the thing and just go on and get into Wembanyama sweepstakes?
No, Spurs are already stopped.
I knew you was going to do that.
Let's think about Brooklyn. Let's really go there with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And the more and more I think about it, the players they just got with Dinwiddie, and who else was it?
Dorian Finney-Smith. Solid player.
Yeah.
Okay, you put that with that squad they have now with Durant, and you can get one more solid number 2 with Durant. Can you really have something in Brooklyn? Think about it.
I mean, listen, as long as you got Kevin Durant, you're gonna have something. But I don't know.
I said a solid 2. If you can bring my guy from Miami to Brooklyn,
Kyle Lowry.
No.
They need a point guard.
Who are you talking about?
We just said his name out of Miami. Man.
Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you
Package
brought him
up
from
some
Brooklyn and you put
But
that?
see, the problem with that is Miami thinks they're close.
They're not.
They think all they got to do is pair somebody with Jimmy and Bam, and they're close. And by the way, I ain't 100% sure they're wrong because Bam is coming to his own. Jimmy is solid. I mean, Jimmy's going to be Jimmy. That's what I said with Kevin and Jimmy and Bam. That's not a bad squad. I don't know if that's a final squad, but defensively, that's not a bad squad. Because Kevin has proven if you put the right pieces around him defensively, he'll play defense.
Yeah.
So
they definitely got better on defense, but
they're not going to score 120 points, but they're not going to let you score 120 points either.
Exactly. And the Mavericks got kind of worse on defense. So that's the thing that stuck out to me. The Mavericks probably going to score 150, but they're probably going to give up 158. So
but listen, everybody's in play to the specific question. Everybody's in play in the West. I think you're going to see teams, especially like the Lakers, they are in full-on panic mode. Rob Pelinka will not sleep all week. Because now you got to keep LeBron happy.
Right.
Because the last thing you want LeBron talking about after the night he wins the scoring record. By the way, I'm thinking about asking for a trade. Like you dropping a bomb.
But I told y'all before, I don't think Rob did a great job putting the players around LeBron like he should. That's just my opinion. Yeah. And right now, they could have got Kyrie, but what, Rob? You didn't have nothing to give. I mean, they weren't going to take a Westbrook just to dump salary. And your draft picks are the Clippers and the Mavericks were definitely ahead of them because they had more to offer than the Lakers did.
Well, right. The truth is the Nets had options. Right. So while the dumping of the salary is always good, if you can get other stuff, better stuff, then you go get the better stuff. Like everybody knows Target is actually better than Walmart. So you go to Walmart because you have to. You go to Target because you want to. So
right. Because I saw somebody on Twitter mad at the Lakers. I'm like, why are y'all mad at the Lakers? Because they didn't have enough. You gave away everything Magic had. You gave away.
Right. I'm actually not mad at the Lakers at all. I think they did the right thing.
Right.
You didn't have anything to give, and what you probably would have had to give to get them, you would have overpaid. So sometimes is the best thing to do.
Yeah. Just need to find a trade partner for Russ at this point.
Well, hold on. That brings us to question number 2. So we're gonna name the player, and after Thursday, what team you think he's gonna be playing for? So you started with Russell Westbrook. Let's start there. I think Russell Westbrook will be a proud member of the Utah Jazz. I think it's been floated out there too long. I think the Jazz are going to do it. They've already proven their point that they got a quality staff, but now they're back in the Wembanyama sweepstakes where they belong, and they're going to give up Bogdanovich and probably Jordan Clarkson, or they're going to give up Conley and the other kid, not Markkanen, but the other one, the other big one. I can't remember his name. But anyway, I think that's the only trade left for the Lakers to do, unless they swing for the fences. Now, they could swing for the fences, but wherever they go, I think it's Russell Westbrook's out, but I think it's the Jazz.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had the Jazz down. Dark horse, maybe OKC, but Utah is where I think he'll go.
Okay.
All right. Everybody putting their hands in?
We put our hands in.
1, 2, 3. Lakers.
What about Fred VanVleet? His new team. Will he have a new team? That's actually another off, depending on whether Masai wants to do a fire sale. That one, and then you could actually throw Gary Trent Jr. in there as well. That could go. Yeah, that could be interesting as well.
I've heard Washington was looking at VanVleet. Washington maybe, but maybe a Cleveland too. So I've heard both of those.
Why would Cleveland do it?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
For the Gary Trent thing.
Yeah, I don't buy the Cleveland because I think Cleveland needs to stand pat. They got everything they need. Just keep going. The only thing they need is time.
Yeah.
They don't need no players. I'll be honest with you. What I really like for Van Fleet, I really like Van Fleet going to Miami, taking Kyle Lowry's spot, and it's poetic justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle is not going back to Toronto. Fred VanVleet might wind up in Chicago if a move is made.
Kyle Lowry gave up all his sweaters and everything. His big coats. He's not going back.
All right. So you said Chicago. I'm gonna stick with my Miami. What about Gary Trent?
I say maybe a New Orleans or Cleveland somewhere. I just feel like New Orleans may be a good spot for him.
Why keep trying to put all these players in Cleveland, Chad?
Because man,
Chad gonna have a Cleveland shirt on. Don't be surprised.
What is it about Cleveland that you want to keep giving them players that because they got a solid team to me? I mean,
yeah,
they just beat the brakes off the Grizzlies.
I just been man from my research. I heard Cleveland, so that's through Cleveland out there.
You're in Cleveland a lot, okay?
But I really think New Orleans may be. But I don't know if you're gonna give up. Was it Alvaro for him or not? Or
I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I've been hearing New Orleans too. So.
I'm like Shaq. Let's go back to this Cleveland thing. I think it was Shaq or Charles. One of them said it. Like Cleveland just need to get a little wisdom on it.
It's just time, yeah.
It's time. That's all.
Get a veteran. If you want to get a veteran, but they got Kevin Love. I just think they need time.
They just need time.
They just need time.
Yeah,
that's one of the teams. While we're talking about the big three coming out in the East, that's one of those teams that you don't want to play in the first round or second round.
I agree. They'll give you all you can stand. Right. What about Eric Gordon?
Man, you need to retire.
That's a doable trade for the Lakers where you ain't got to give up nothing hardly. But I also like Eric Gordon.
You don't need Eric Gordon, man. You might have told you about Father Time, didn't you?
No, but it depends on what you want him to do. If I just need you for 15 minutes a game, then I'm Milwaukee, you're the perfect fit. Perfect fit. Just come in on that second unit and shoot threes.
I'm talking about the Lakers.
Oh, well, I just heard them with the Lakers. I don't love that trade. But
y'all need to go get some young horses to go with LeBron and AD and
yeah, but see the problem is it's not just the young horses, bro. It's the wisdom, like you just said. He got some young horses now that don't know they're young and they run and they got pink ones and the whole nine. They just don't know basketball.
They not the young y'all need, man. Y'all getting the litter of the young. Y'all need some of them good, great young.
Okay. So who would you say they need?
I don't know, man. Let me think about it.
Yeah, you gotta think about that because right now we get what we can get.
Y'all getting them old 100-year-old dudes or them young dudes that ain't barely playing. Y'all need in the middle.
I mean, they struck
LeBron right about now. I'm speaking for LeBron.
I don't disagree with what you said. I'm just saying that's what's available. That's what's available where we are.
You need some cats like, I mean, of course, he off like Christian Woods or one of those shoot. Now, Woods not a shooter, but somebody who's long and can shoot and just does the little things. I mean,
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I
don't know where that guy is. Y'all see Eric getting moved?
I'm gonna go find him for you, and then I'm gonna call Rob, and I'm gonna call. But it's gonna be a fee for it. But I'm gonna call Rob.
It'll be a fee.
He could go to somebody like maybe a Phoenix or something. I've been hearing Phoenix.
Is Phoenix gonna have the fire sale?
I think it's coming. I think it's coming, man. If they don't,
we'll get back to Phoenix here in a second. What about Damian Lillard? Is it time?
He ain't going nowhere.
But it's time though.
Dame time is still important.
Dame
Not
time.
really. Not really though.
Dame time and our time is totally different.
Exactly.
Right. I'm saying, okay, so let's take Damian's feelings out of it. If you're Portland, ain't it time?
Unless you're hanging on and saying, "Hey, I can get a splash player to ride with Dame."
But I can't. We've already proven that we can. We're gonna have to build off of trades and the draft. We've already proven. And guess what? I got a pretty solid piece now in Anthony Simons. So why not go get a haul for Damian Lillard right now, and just take and then just start rebuilding, start to hit the reset button. You've done this a decade at Portland and it has not worked. What are we holding on for?
When McCollum left, he should have left too.
Okay, but I'm taking Dame out of it. Forget Dame's feelings. This ain't about Dame. I'm talking about Portland as an organization. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, we've tried this. We got a great player that puts butts in the seats, and that's nice. But we ain't going nowhere. We're going nowhere. We are stuck in the mud.
Maybe they're waiting on the one bomb sweepstakes too.
They're gonna make the playoffs this year.
No, they're not. Don't do that. They're not even gonna make the play in.
Oh, I think they will.
That's good for their Wembanyama odds too. So maybe they're looking for.
I think they should get in the Wembanyama sweepstakes.
Did we have a conversation about this? Did we not talk about this?
I think they should get in the Wembanyama sweepstakes.
Might as well.
Have these conversations, guys. We don't need.
All right, everybody wants to keep Dame there. Same thing for Bradley Beal. He stays.
Man, I heard he like Miami too.
I'm just saying, 10 years. You've done this 10 years. Take Bradley's feelings out of it and just think about the organization. It's the same thing. And by the way, either one of those guys in the right situation makes the team they go to a contender.
Won't they just make a trade with each other?
Oh God! So it's the same player.
Same person.
No, you bring Dame to Washington or you bring Bradley to Portland.
Oh my goodness!
That'll solve everybody's issue.
That's not gonna work.
Somebody's gonna sacrifice something.
What about this one?
Now that's a tough one.
No, it's not.
He is not going to Golden State.
You said that before, didn't you?
He's not going to Golden State.
I've heard that one before.
Is this a situation where you left your wife and you thought you could do better, and then the 4 years that you've been with this other girl that you thought was just as fine, and then you realize she couldn't cook, she couldn't clean, now you want to come back home?
Hey, when you had your wife and then you leave your wife for your side chick and be like, the grass is not green over there.
Would you give up pool for Kevin Durant?
Oh,
because that's what you're gonna have to do.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. If I'm Brooklyn, you are.
I'll give up pool. Pool is gonna be part of this package.
I'll give a Wiggins before I give a pool.
If I'm Brooklyn, you giving me Poole, you giving me Wiseman, you giving me possibly Moody or Kuminga, and you giving me a few number ones.
You give it up, Poole.
Because I just gave you the NBA championship.
And first of all, you talking about Wiggins. Wiggins just got you that last NBA championship.
No, Wiggins ain't going nowhere.
To be honest with you,
I had to see what else we get, but I'd probably say, we're gonna get. We'll take care.
Chad, okay, Chad. Can I talk to Chad real quick? Can I talk
to Chad? Y'all work that out.
Chad, right now you're being really, really greedy. All you need is
Reggie.
All you need is a decent big man that can give you 10 and 10 and block the middle. Your squad is set, and once you get healthy, Chad? Why?
Give me KD and give me Claxton, and y'all can take Poole.
Chad,
I'll do that.
Chad,
I'll do that.
Let's say you get KD.
Yeah.
And you gave up your whole squad, and somebody hurt a hamstring in the middle of the finals. There goes your championship because you didn't put it all on 3 players. You're okay, Chad. Listen to me. Golden State is okay. You can still win a championship this year. All you need is a big man A decent big man. You don't need a superstar big man. You just need a decent big man.
Yeah, that's why I say JaVale McGee. I said that minute 2 of the show.
Okay, then why would you sacrifice everything for Durant?
Because it's KD.
Listen to me. Okay, you sacrificed last time for KD. All y'all got hurt. The championship wasn't even close, and it was all on 3 or 4 players.
I don't know, man.
I understand what you just said, Reggie.
Yeah, I understand it,
but you shortened the narrative down to Cliff Notes, and there was a lot more story there.
Oh
yeah. They got hurt on the backside of 2 back-to-back championships.
Right. I'm talking about that last championship, though.
I got what you said. I'm saying,
and if you sacrifice all those players, and just believe it ain't gonna be as easy as it was that last time because the NBA has got younger, stronger, and that West is way more stronger because you got you gonna battle. So what I'm saying, if I'm Golden State, I'll make one trade, and it may be for a decent big man. Other than that, man, I'm just trying to get healthy. Y'all ain't been healthy all year.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but oh my God, I don't know.
Well, let me just say this: to answer your original question, if I got to give up Poole to get Kevin Durant, my answer is yes. I would absolutely do it. It's not even close that I would do it. Yes. Why wouldn't I do it? And the reason why I'm saying yes is because I think the window of Golden State still winning championships is not as wide as everybody else thinks it is. Right. Because their young talent has not progressed as quickly as they thought it would. Right. So that means I have a window of about 3 to 4 years where I can maximize and still be title contenders. So why not just go all in, get Kevin back, give up Poole, give up Wiseman, give up Moody, possibly even Kuminga, and a couple of number ones, and the deal is done. And then I maximize that. I'm going to have to rebuild in 4 years no matter what because those guys haven't hit. So go all in, get you 2 or 3 more, and then
I'm just in that thing. If I got a good squad and it ain't broke, why am I trying to fix something after I just won the championship?
I agree in the sense of there's 2 routes to where we're trying to get to. Right. One is the we can possibly win right now and then keep sustaining it for longer. So just go get a big man and go that path. But the other is we go win right now and we got a small 2-3 window and then it's over. So you just got to decide which way you want to go with it. Yeah. And I don't know if one is better than the other, if I'm being honest.
As long as you get championships,
right.
And I'm not disagreeing with the KD, but I'm just me and my way. If I'm a GM, that's just me.
That's the Spurs in you. That's just the Spurs in you.
I'm trying to build a dynasty around that thing. I'm trying to get this thing going for her.
Is it inevitable that he's played his last game as a Warrior?
Yes.
No, man.
Yes.
He's hurt. He's been hurt for a little bit. So
the best availability. What do you say, Lloyd?
Best ability is availability.
Thank you.
I think it wasn't until Saturday night. I think when Steph went down, that might have sealed James's fate. Because they're going to lose Steph for roughly about a month.
Mm-hmm.
They got to do something. And if Wiseman is an option to get done what they need to get done, whether that's KD or whether it's just like you said, Reggie, just getting a quality big man in there, you got to throw him in the package. And so
and the problem is with Wiseman that it's hard to get rid of him. You're not going to get the most out of him. I'm not saying you can't package him up because you don't have no film on Wiseman. You really don't have film on Wiseman.
Well, see, that's the blessing and the curse.
Right.
Because you really don't know what he is. But the potential says he could be something. He could be a Christian Wood. He could be better than a Christian Wood. So you don't know. So
and it may be one of the things I hate to say. Go. I'm sorry, Chad.
No, I said that's just the chance you're taking at this point. So yeah, I mean definitely.
And I hate to say it, it may be one of the things that if he gets in a different system, and because let's be honest, Golden State is more of a guard-oriented system. It's more of a movement, and it's more unless you're a Draymond type, Green type player, that's a big guy, you're not going to thrive in that system. And
he's not. His skill set doesn't appear to fit seamlessly into this system. Because
Correct.
he's a back to the basket dude
Yeah.
who seems to have pretty decent footwork, and he's not being asked to do that. He's being asked to run the floor, to space the floor, to play the corners, not to play always off the block, but to play a little bit up. His up skill set is not very good because playing up on the corners means you got to have an IQ, and he don't really have that. He's not. Yeah, so it's not a perfect fit, but in another system, it could be a really great fit.
Right.
So I think this might be the moment. The last one, and this is the one that's the most interesting to me. I have a sneaking suspicion he might be on the block.
I mean,
he might be on the block.
I'm
gonna tell you my dream. I'm gonna tell you my dream. My dream is that he goes to Brooklyn because the volatility and anger that Chris Paul and Kevin Durant on the floor together, playing together, would create that type of drama. If you thought Kyrie and KD was good, Chris Paul and KD would be epic. So I kind of just want to see it just for that. But
isn't he kind of like a salary dump as well in one aspect?
Yes. But he might have just enough in the tank left to put a solid team or a good team into, at minimum, the second round, the semifinals, and possibly their conference finals.
Would the Clippers take a shot at it back?
They don't need them. You got Reggie Bullock.
I think they should stay away from that.
Yeah.
Clippers. Although I'm hearing they're gonna dump John Wall if they ain't no trade.
Wow, they're gonna dump John. They've actually been playing better. When Kawhi and Paul George are playing, they're really good. It just
they are. There's not a lot beyond them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
They're probably. I would love to see their record with Paul George and Kawhi in and without. They probably lost one game with them in there together.
And I'm gonna tell you the other problem too. The only way you can do a trade is to lose the third most valuable piece on your team, and that's Terrence Mann.
Exactly.
So you're kind of stuck if you're the Clippers because you almost got to ride this out unless you're going to be able to get a great player. Now, if I'm the Clippers, I might go all in on Kevin Durant. I got pieces.
There's another team that I think should stay straight where they at and just get healthy. That's another team. We've never seen this team fully healthy yet. In a 20-game stretch. Look, they ain't been healthy for 5 games, but 20-game straight. It's a 20-game stretch. I'm sorry. I like that Clippers team if they can stay healthy, but we don't know who they are. We really don't.
They are.
But a lot of teams gonna be in panic mode, so we don't know if they're gonna.
Well, the Clippers jumped in on the Kyrie conversation yesterday. They jumped in yesterday trying to make a last-ditch attempt. So it's gonna be interesting.
John Wall was in that mix of that last.
He was. They're trying to, but everybody knows who John is now. Like John's a contributing player. He's not a starter. So I don't know. Just real quick, Mavs a true title contender now.
I'm sorry.
Mavs, are they a true title contender now?
Let's see. They got Kyrie, Luka, T. Hardaway, Christian Wood, and Dwight Powell. That's a solid starting 5. And then they got some guys off the bench. If they can just play a little bit of D, just enough, I think they can, because in the playoffs you have to play some defense. So I think if they can just step up the defensive intensity, I think they can do it.
I think from an offensive perspective, they present a lot of problems. They got a 3-man game there that's as good as any 3-man game in the West.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying defensively, really? Kyrie can, man, I've seen Kyrie. Kyrie plays deep.
When he wants to. When he wants to. Yeah.
Right. Okay. When the other day when he waved somebody off and he said, "Let me get Steph," I was like, "Oh, okay." I know.
I was kind of impressed by that. Yeah, I was kind of impressed by that.
Very impressed by that.
Yeah.
But Luke, no matter you talking about defense, anytime you got a guy like Luka on your team who's really his strength is not defense, you're gonna have some holes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some holes. So, but the question should be asked to Jason Kidd because that's who's going to have to put this thing together.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough. Making them a title contender, a full on going to the NBA Finals. I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet. I think if everything stays healthy, they could make a Western Conference final run. They could, because I'm assuming that everybody else is going to blow. Like the Suns are going to blow it up. Denver, I don't know. They got as many questions as the Clippers have as far as health is concerned.
Yeah.
I think they could. They could be an interesting, but we're assuming that it all comes together too. That's the other thing. We're assuming that it all comes together.
You know, this year feels like last year to me. What I mean by the healthiest team is going to win the championship.
I agree.
I agree. You know, if you think about the teams that wasn't healthy, let's go. Lakers was not healthy during last year.
Right.
The Clippers was not healthy at all last year. Denver was nowhere near healthy last year.
Right.
You know, it's so many teams that was not healthy. Portland, you know, and thank goodness, Chad, Golden State was the healthiest team coming out the West. And let's go to the East as well, too. If Milwaukee was healthy last year, do we really talk about Boston right about now?
I don't think so.
So this feels like last year to me. Like whoever's especially in the West, whoever's the healthiest team is pretty much going to come out the West, I believe.
Because the reality is the teams in the West are oddly constructed.
Right.
There's this weird mix of veteran dominant leadership coupled with some decent youth.
Right.
That if the veteran leadership is not healthy, then they can't win. Right. Jamal Murray and
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis and LeBron, Damian Lillard in Portland.
We can say Zion in New Orleans right now.
Zion in New Orleans. I mean, it's right. If their veterans aren't healthy, they can't win. They can't make a run. So this might be the perfect time for Dallas. But Dallas got the same problem now with Luka. If Luka is going to be hurt for a while, or if he's, it's a very interesting mix, Reggie. That's a great point you just made. All right, we're gonna leave the NBA for a minute. This man, listen. So I had not looked since December. I know in December it was close to 2,000 players in there. Now they're all starting to come out. A bunch of them are starting to come out, and they're finding their homes or whatever. But it's still a lot still left. My own simple question, is this ever going to get better? The college football, I call it the trade portal, not the transfer portal. But is it ever going to get better? Is it ever going to be regulated properly? We start with Reggie.
You know, the best thing I heard about the how to fix the transfer portal was from Fred Taylor from the Pivot on the Pivot show.
Okay.
He should be on the NCAA commission board, whatever. This is what he said. You want to fix the portal, this is what you should do. You said if a player transfers out of a school, number one, once he declares that transfer, he can't go back. Number two, if he does transfer to the other school, he cannot get an NIL deal for 1 year. You will fix that portal. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's good.
Because let's be honest.
He can't go back to his original school.
And then when you make
he has to sit there. Well, and that doesn't mean he has to stay. He doesn't have to stay at that school.
You just go to
another NIL deal. He can play.
He just can't get an NIL deal at all.
Because a lot of these teams are, let's be honest, they're recruiting. This is NIL money recruiting on a lot of this transfer.
No question.
If you can control, in which, let's say we all talked about it before they put this in place. This was going to happen. I mean, and then and some of these kids, they have to understand it's okay to take a red shirt year. It's okay to sit behind a senior a year. You're a 175-pound linebacker in the SEC. I'm sorry. You're not ready to play as a freshman. You're not.
Yeah.
you know, and then later on in life, when you keep hopping and hopping and hopping and all these eligibility is done, when the real world comes to you and your boss say, we might not need that done today, and you get upset, what are you going to do? Go get another job?
Reggie Love, you are preaching the gospel right now. And I have to only look no further than one of my other broadcast partners in Charlie Ward, who people don't understand. Charlie Ward came to Florida State, and his freshman year, he was a punter.
Mm-hmm.
And his sophomore year, he was a backup quarterback. He didn't start until his junior year.
And he was a Heisman.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's okay to sit.
But these young kids
to sit and learn and figure it out. And by the way, Mac Jones, I'm looking at you in Alabama, who didn't start until his senior year. And guess what? Turn that into a Heisman Trophy and a first-round pick in the NFL draft and the starting quarterback at the New England Patriots. Now, he may not keep that, but at least he did it.
Yeah.
And he got his money. So I agree with you, Reggie. I think you got to do something. I kind of like the NIL part of it because not getting that NIL deal and not having access to that money day one could be a deterrent.
Lord, when we grew up, you threatened the coach that you're going to lead the team. What that coach going to tell you?
Bye.
Bye. And matter of fact, they're going to help you pack your locker up.
Right. Bye.
Now, these kids are threatening these coaches forward so these coaches can give them a little bit more money or they can play them or, man,
we just saw a kid pull a heist against Miami. Miami couldn't come up with the $13 million that they promised him, so he took his talents to Arizona State.
Right.
Now, Arizona didn't announce how much they paid him, but if you think it wasn't close to that $13 million, you don't know how the world works.
That's crazy. It's just all about entitlement and this microwave society. I want it now. And these kids.
Let me say this. Again, I've said this before. I don't have a problem with kids making money in college. I don't have a problem with you being able to control your name, image, and likeness. I don't have an issue with any of that. I never had a problem with it. I didn't think they needed to make millions. That seems a little ridiculous. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with you making millions. My problem is that there's no rules in place to balance it all out.
Right.
Yeah. And now you, like you said, it's the wild, wild west. It's all over the place. And then at this point, again, let's stop calling it amateur sports. It's not amateur sports anymore. This is business.
Right.
This is big business. And then at some point in business starts to push back. They haven't yet, but let me tell you something. The day a kid that I just paid $13 million to goes on a football field and starts underperforming.
Say it again. You preaching, brother.
Yeah.
You preaching.
Yeah, they need to have like a NIL transfer portal governing body or something that regulates something. I mean,
from what I'm understanding, they're bringing a new commissioner or somebody new is coming in, and they're
the new guy's starting soon at the end of March Madness. I think the new replacement for the NCAA, his Mark Emmert's replacement is coming. So maybe he will come in with a sensibility of I'm about to rein all this in. So we'll see, but it's completely out of control right now, and man, it doesn't seem like there's no end in sight. So But I was shocked to see how many kids. I mean, the portal is a wild, wild west. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna tell you who's going, and we'll move on after this because I know we're about to wrap up. I'm gonna tell you who suffers the most from this, and will continue if nothing changes, and that's high school players.
Man,
because there's no way if I'm a coach on the fence, and I've said this before, and I got to choose. Look at what Chip Kelly just did. At LSU. He's the number one school. LSU is the number one school in transfer portal recruits. Deion in Colorado is number 5. You know why? Because why should I hit the trail and go to high school after high school game when I could just get in the transfer portal and go shopping?
And it is hurting. Listen to me. It's hurting the high school kids. Man, I'm between that COVID year in this portal, the high school kids, these last few years, there's some Division I kids that went Division II. There's Division II kids that went Division III. It just trickled down, and there's kids out there who should have been getting NAI and Division III scholarships, didn't get nothing. It's a big trickle effect.
Yeah,
and that's, let's be honest. If, like you said, if my job is on the line, if I got to go recruit a 17, 18 inexperienced kid, or I go recruit a 21, 22-year-old kid that with experience and can give me a championship, what do you think I'm gonna do? Because my job is on the line.
Yeah.
I'm not really putting my faith in some kid that can't vote. I'm sorry. I'm really gonna take my chance on the kid that's been to a college class. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
Man, it hurts my heart how it's hurting these high school kids, man.
It is. It really is. Well, the logical final question of the night is a no-brainer because this is Super Bowl week, and this is airing on Tuesday. So we are ahead of the curve. We talked about all the NBA trade stuff that's going down Thursday. We've talked about the college transfer portal. The one thing we haven't talked about in Super Bowl week is the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, question number 5. Who wins the Super Bowl? Will it be the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles? And by the way, shout out to Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes for being the first. I don't know why I thought that we'd seen 2 black quarterbacks before. I don't know why I did, but when you look through the history, we haven't. First time 2 black quarterbacks are starting in the Super Bowl. That is so dope. So it's exciting to see that. But having said all that, who wins? Best offense versus the best defense?
Well, since the Dallas Cowboys are not in the Super Bowl this year and haven't been for quite a while.
Hold on.
See?
Are you serious right now?
You brought him in.
Man,
Are you serious right now?
Man,
brought him
let me make my statement, man.
Make your statement without bringing Dallas Cowboys in here.
I'm gonna tie it up.
They got nothing to do with this.
Wait, hold on. Since the Dallas Cowboys are not in the Super Bowl this year, it's only right, since I'm in the Dallas area, to root for one Dallas team that's originally from Dallas, the Dallas Texans, which are now the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Only a Cowboy fan would somehow tie that in there, boy.
Yes. It's called loophole, man. Loophole.
All right, loophole. Reggie Love, who you root for, man? Who you think gonna get this thing? Best offense and best defense?
I'm not really rooting for either team. I think since this team was part of the Indianapolis coach and they ran through Indianapolis, and I'm just joking. No, Philly by 3.
Whoa, Philly by 3. Okay.
Philly by 3.
We're giving score predictions. Okay.
You got a prediction before I make mine? Score prediction, Chad?
24-17.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
We got to
the last time I saw Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, he was getting destroyed by an extremely talented defense. He was limping around on one leg, and he got embarrassed, quite honestly. He got embarrassed. Even though he played great, his team was not great. I think that he feels a way about that. It's hard for me to believe that he's going to get back and have a second performance like that. But, man, Philly is really good. Or at least they look like they are. Now, I don't know. Maybe they aren't. But they sure look like they are. 70 sacks is a lot of sacks. So, I'm going to go Kansas City, but I think I'm with you, Reggie. 7 points sounds like a lot to me. I'm thinking more like a drive in the end of the game by Patrick Mahomes, and they get a field goal by Buckner to win the game by 3. I think 3 is probably the margin of error in this game. I don't think Philly is equipped to stop everything that Kansas City does, but I think they can slow them down enough to make it a decent game. So give me Kansas City by 3 as well. I'm with Reggie on that one. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Those are our Super Bowl predictions. Shout outs left to do here tonight. Who y'all shouting out, man?
Man, I'm gonna get a shout out. You know what? I like the Mavericks, and I'm gonna give a shout out to the Mavericks for their trade today. I don't know what's gonna happen, but they gave up.
He said, I don't know what's gonna happen, but you made
They
it.
gave effort.
They got an A for effort. I agree.
Yeah.
I'll go next, and we'll say the last one for Chad. I'm gonna give a shout out. I'm gonna go a whole different route tonight as we are recording this, or on Sunday, even though this is gonna broadcast on Tuesday. The Grammys are going on, and before the Grammys officially started, which they just started according to our time 40 minutes ago, they gave out some Grammy awards, and tonight the legend that is Viola Davis completed her EGOT run. She won a Grammy for that little children's book that she wrote that became an Audible book, and it won a Grammy. So now she is an EGOT winner, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. She is a legend in her own right. And so shout out to the great Viola Davis.
Yes.
Nice. Man, I want to start for shouting out God. God, I pray that you just have Steph come back fully healthy, Father God. So I'm shouting you out, sir. I'm shouting you out because I know you're going to do it. So
I don't know how to feel about it.
I can't believe he just did that.
But you can't. But can you be mad at him though? You can't really be mad at him.
But
I can shout out God if I want to.
You can shout out God.
No, but you threw Steph Curry in there. Why?
Because I want God to heal him. And I know he can do it. I know he can do it. Shout out this weekend, man. The trade deadline and Super Bowl, one of the best times of the year, man. And a lot of people gonna be calling off on Monday, I'm sure. So shout out. Yeah, for sure. So shout that out, and just hopefully, man, a good game, man. Just want to see a good game. To the two black Texas quarterbacks. That's definitely a feat, man.
One last shout out back to the Grammys, and then we out of here. Also tonight, as the Grammys is going on, they are recognizing the 50 years of hip hop. Hip hop turns 50 this year. Damn, I feel old just hearing that because me and hip hop grew up together. But shout out to hip hop. That's one of the soundtracks of my life. I'm sure it's the same for you guys as well. So shout out to hip hop. We love you and can't get enough of you. So with that being said, we are in the building tonight to give y'all all this goodness. It's going to be a fun week. Can't wait to come back next week and talk about this wild week of trades and the Super Bowl and the NBA and everything that has happened. Until then, y'all have a great week. We out of here. Peace.
Five will get you 10 when you're plugging in with the there's no mystery. Let's make history with the the song is 2 and 3. Add 1 more plus me and you the